All right, guys. Very good evening, everybody. I hope you all can hear me loud and clear, and you all can see my screen as well. Thank you for joining in the session right on time. And my name is Pratik Agarwal. I'm going to be the instructor for today's workshop. And the focus in today's workshop is to learn. I'll just put it down on the screen. What are we going to learn today? So the first thing that we will learn is how to use SQL on cloud, right? Especially on Google BigQuery. Then we will use SQL to analyze 2022 and 2023 layoffs. We have had a lot of layoffs by different companies across the world. And this is world data, okay? Not just India, not just US, world's data. So we will try and see that how you can quickly analyze such complex data using very simple SQL scripts. So that's what we will do. And guys, I have spent 17 years, maybe 18 years in the industry, in the data consulting industry. If you want to know more about me, I will give you my LinkedIn profile as well. If you just go to Google and search Pratik Ivy, then the first link that you will get would be the LinkedIn link, and that is the right way to get connected with me. And you will find all my details there, who I am and what I have done, and all the things that I'm associated with. And I'll be more than happy to get connected with you all. All right, guys. So let's get started. The first thing first. This is the second day of the workshop. Yesterday, you had a session with Ishani where you use you use Tableau to visualize the data. Again, similar case study, but different tool. Today we'll use SQL. So just to familiarize everybody with the data, this is the data that we will understand and we will analyze. And I'm going to share this data with you all, and I promise you that you will be able to work on all the SQL queries that we will learn by the end of the session today. So if you look at the data, we've got columns like company, location, industry, total number of laid off employees, percentage of people who were laid off. So this 0.14 basically means 14%, and the date, the layoff reporting date, the stage of the company. Stage of the company basically means in which stage that company was at the time of layoff, whether it is a Series J, which is a different kinds of rounds when a company goes through investment rounds. So IPO basically means that the company went public as well. So Series B is initial round, and Series A is the first Series A round, and so on and so forth. So the Series J basically means it was a mature startup. It went through multiple rounds of funding. And then the countries, the country where the startup belongs to, and the amount of money that they raised. Okay, so that's the data all about. All right, so the first thing first, we will first understand how do we load this data onto a database where we will use structured query language to analyze. If somebody doesn't understand what SQL is, I'll quickly give you an overview. SQL basically is the language with which you interact with a data repository, a structured data repository, which is called as. So what is SQL? SQL, or structured query language, is a common universal language which database management softwares and reporting tools understand, which basically means through or using SQL, you can give or you can send instructions. For example, fetch data from data repositories or databases. Databases are nothing but structured data repositories where we store the data in a tabular format, in a table-like format, right? So that's what the databases are. So as a human being or as a reporting tool, if you're using, if you want to extract the data out from a database, from that structured database, which stores the data in a table-like format, like the kind of table that you were seeing, then we would want to use SQL. The question then a lot of times people ask me is that if you already have Excel kind of a tool, then why do we need database? See, Excel is very limited when it comes to handling large amount of data, when it comes to handling complex data. You need a proper database management software which has specific features, which protects the data, which ensure the data is accurate, and which allows you to apply constraints, restrictions on the data so that the data remains, the data integrity remains maintained, and it becomes easier to handle large amount of data. So that is some of these things are not possible with Excel, although Excel can store data, but very simple type of data. But when the data becomes large, complicated, multiple tables, it becomes very difficult to store and manage the data in a tool like Excel. And that's the reason why you need a database tool. So today, and so in the industry there are various famous database management systems which are called as DBMSs. The famous DBMSs you will see MySQL, which is open source, PostgreSQL, which is another open source database, and then some of the paid database by Microsoft would be my MS SQL Server, quite famous in the industry. Oracle, another quite famous. IBM also has DB2, and so forth. There are quite a few database management system. So if you just Google, you will find a list of the common database management system. But all these database management system, they all support SQL as the common language. So if you're good in SQL, you can work with, technically speaking, you can work with data residing in any one of these database management system, and all the reporting tools, including Power BI, Tableau, even Excel supports extracting or reading the data from data repositories using SQL. So that is the reason why SQL is such an important skill set to have for anybody who's working in the data world, whether you're working as a data analyst or whether you're working as a data engineer or a data scientist. You would need SQL to extract or to access the data from databases. That is the reason, that is the background as to why SQL is one of the top 3 skills for any data professional to use. Yeah. More information I've got on Ivy's YouTube channel. You will find series of videos whereby I've spoken about further information about SQL and why SQL is such an important thing for anybody to learn. So that's the background about SQL. And now let's directly jump into the tool that we will use today in order to analyze the data using SQL. So I'm going to use, as I said, I'm going to use SQL on cloud. I don't want to install anything today at all, right? That is the power of cloud machines. You don't need to install anything, right? So how do we go to Google Cloud platform, which supports Google BigQuery? So in order to go there, you just have to search one simple thing on Google search bar. Look for Google BigQuery Sandbox. The reason why we're looking for Google BigQuery Sandbox, Google BigQuery is a platform provided by Google Cloud Platform where you can work with the databases. You can also run SQL queries. Sandbox basically means trial version. Okay, because we are going to be using the free version, the trial version of Google BigQuery, and hence Sandbox. So Google BigQuery Sandbox, the first link that you get when you search it on Google, okay, don't search it on Bing. Bing kind of hides this link. So when you go there, you will get multiple links, but you want to go to the first link, that's fine. When you go to the first link, it says enable enable the BigQuery platform. Basically what you're looking for is you want to go to this link which says go to BigQuery. There are a lot of documentation files and how do you use it and so on and so forth, but I'm going to skip all those things because it's very easy. So I'll just directly go to Google BigQuery platform. And when you go there, the best part is that if you're already logged in with your Gmail, there is nothing else that you need. There is absolutely nothing else that you need, right? So when you go there, you're waiting for Google Cloud Platform to come on the screen. And now at this point of time, I will need one volunteer to do. So in the next 10 minutes, we'll just quickly understand how to load the data in Google BigQuery platform. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to do it, right? So I'm going to need one volunteer, and I'm going to share one link in the chat window, whereby you will see the link to download the database. If you're attending it from YouTube, we'll upload the dataset link after the session on YouTube as well. So just give me one moment. Let me pull out the link to download the dataset. Just give me one moment, guys. In the meantime, please go to Google BigQuery. Please go there, open, search for Google BigQuery on Google, and open. You basically want to go to BigQuery thing. I hope you all can access the page. If you're not able to access the page, do let me know. I'll help you quickly. Can you all access the page, guys? Yeah, can you confirm? Anybody who can confirm? All right, so who would like to share the screen? I've given the link on the chat window to the drive, to the Google Drive, where I've uploaded the data that I was showing you, the layoff data right at the beginning of the of of the session. So who would like to share the screen and help you understand how to use Google BigQuery and how to load the data into Google BigQuery? What I have done is I have also uploaded in the Zoom chat window. Oh, all right, so nobody is responding. So let me pick some names. How about Sneha? Do you want to share the screen if you're connected?
I am not connected to the laptop. So.
Okay. Anybody else who's connected to the laptop? I'll wait for a minute. Otherwise, I'll start doing it. If I do it on my screen, I'll be a little faster, guys. But I wanted somebody to volunteer.
Sir, I can share my screen.
Okay, please go ahead and share your screen. Just click on the share and you'll be able to share the screen. Do share the entire screen. Are you sharing a screen? Yeah, all right. We can see the screen. Very nice. Very good. Excellent. And your name is Priyanka, right, Priyanka? We are seeing Priyanka's screen.
Yes, sir.
Very nice. Excellent. So, have you downloaded the file that I shared with you, Priyanka?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's a CSV file, a comma separated values file, a common standard format. Yeah. Now, Priyanka, this is the screen that you got when you clicked on Google BigQuery, right? In the tab, right?
Yes.
So this is the screen that you will all see when you go there. Now, the first thing it says is that create the project. Do you see this on the right hand side? It says create the project. So click on create the project. This is a project folder that we are creating. You can give it any name, but it should be universally global name, meaning, universally unique name, meaning the name that you give here should not be a name that everybody gives. Otherwise, it will not work. It has to be a unique name. So go ahead and write your name hyphen Ivy hyphens, let's say layoffs. And remember, it can give the names in small case. It cannot contain any space, cannot contain any underscore. It can only contain the hyphen. So what are we doing? We are creating a project folder, and inside that project folder, we will create a database, which is also called as data set. And inside that data set, we will upload the table, upload the data table that I've shared with you. These are the steps that we will perform. So this is the project name that she has given, which has to be universally unique. Don't worry about organization and so on and so forth. Click on create. Remember, it has to be unique. Yeah. correct to continue. The name has invalid, so it can't contain underscore. It can contain a hyphen. Perfect. Click on create. Don't worry about organization. Click on create. Now it takes a few seconds only, just that much to create the data set. Yeah. Now, so this is the Google BigQuery console or Google BigQuery user interface. Now, what it does is that it gives you a prompt. Yes, it's okay, done, fine. Now it says, hey, this is the project. If you notice on the left-hand side, this is the project Priyanka Ivy Layoff that she has created. And she's right now in that project. And then she can see from this list as well, from this drop down, that this is the project that is she has selected. If it doesn't show, you can always come over here and click on the drop down and you will be able to see the project. Right? And if you want to create one more project, so if you click on this drop down, suppose if you want to, create more data sets and so forth, so you can click on new project, but we'll not go there for now. All right. So great. Now, the next thing that we want to do is that, as I said, this is done, project is created. The next thing I want to do is that we want to create a data set or a database where we will upload the data table. So you see the three dots here. Click on the three. Before you click the three dots, click on this star. So that will pin the project so that whenever you open it next time, this is the project that would be defaulted. Yeah, it's a good practice. Just click on this, click on create data set. So now what are we doing? We are creating the database in this project folder, and the dataset ID here, you have to give the specifier name. So remember here, you cannot give any space. It can accept letters, numbers, and underscore. So give it a name as layoffs underscore DS. Now this doesn't have to be universally unique. This has to be only unique in this project folder. Layoffs underscore DS, dataset or DB, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so this is the database. Don't worry about in which location this will be created. In the physical data center somewhere in the US, it's fine. US multi-region is fine. And then just click on create dataset. So it's very, very easy. Just click on create dataset at the bottom. Priyanka. See over here? Yeah, perfect. So what she has done is that now she has very quickly created a database, and then she has quickly created she has created a project folder and she has created a data set as well. You see this drop down here? Click on this no, not there. Yeah, click on this drop down and you will see that, yeah, click on the drop down. Now you see layoff DS. If you click on the drop down next to the DS, you will not find anything. Yeah. Now here she has created the database as well. Now the next thing we want to do is that we want to upload the data table, right? So in order to upload the data table, you want to go to the three dots next to the data set, next to the database that you just created in the project folder, and you want to go to create table. Very good, Priyanka, you're fast. Now, important screen, guys, okay, important screen here. But it's important, but it's not very difficult to understand. Here, it says create the table from where? Create the table from, look at the drop down here. Click on the drop down next to the table here. We want to upload it from a local machine because that's where we have downloaded the file. Upload it and browse for that file. And then go to that file that she downloaded, yeah, layoff data set. This is the file that you downloaded today, right?
Yes, sir.
CSV. And then come over here where it says table, right? Table here. Here. Now give it a name. Give everything a small case. Layoff underscore TBL or table. Layoff underscore TBL or something. Yeah. So the name of the database is layoff underscore DS, and the name of the table is layoff underscore TBL. Now come down. Yeah, very important step. It says schema, and there is an option of auto detect. Now the schema basically means, yeah, go ahead and select that auto detect here. The schema basically means, remember in the table we saw multiple columns, and each column had each column had what? Each column had each column had a specific type of data. So the schema, when we select auto schema, yeah, just give us. Yeah, so schema basically means that when we say auto detect the schema, basically what the system will do is it will understand each column of data, whether it is numeric integer, whether it is text or string, whether it is date data type, whether it is yes or no Boolean data type. And you don't have to be worried about it. The system will go and check the data type of each column and will automatically assign it at the time of table loading. So it's a very good feature that Google BigQuery console has. Not every database management system would have a very nice such feature. So we'll select that, and then I will scroll down a little bit more where it says advanced options. I'll go there. There is only one small thing that we will do. Come down. The only thing that we will do is here where it says the header rows to skip. Remember, our first row contains the header in our table. So we'll skip how many rows, Priyanka? How many rows should we skip, guys? What do you guys think? Remember, in the original table that we are loading here, the first row contains the header, right? So we want to skip the first row, Priyanka. So write 1. Remove 0 and write 1. Just 1, not the 1, whatever you've written. Yeah, 1. And then come down. Yeah, and then click on create table. Now, keep your fingers crossed, guys, because when you're loading such live data into a database, there can be a lot of errors, right? But let's see. Now, what if you notice that there is a folder, there is a database, and there is a table that she has created over here, as you can see. Layoff this first one is the project, then this is the database, then this is the table. Click on the table, click on it, click on the name, click on here, click on it. Yeah, just click on it. So when she clicks on it, it will open a tab like this. Do you see this right in the middle of the screen? It opens a tab and it shows the schema here, right? And schema basically means that what are the fields that are there, what are the columns that are there, what are the data types of those columns. If you scroll down, you can see all the fields. Come down. Yeah. If you notice, all the fields are uploaded and all the data types are rightly assigned here. To verify this, what we can also do is we can preview it. So when we preview it, it looks like the original data that we were trying to load, which is a good sign, guys. Okay. So just go up. Yeah. So you can see company, location, industry. Just click somewhere in the middle so that it highlight goes away. Yeah. Percentage, date, stage, country, funds raised. Yeah. I can show you the schema. So it automatically takes the data type. Yes, small a. That is the advantage of this. The schema portion, Rishi, just make it auto detect in the schema. Rishi, that's it. Make it auto detect. Where it says schema, Rishi, make it auto detect. Yeah. And you don't have to edit the schema. It's fine. We have seen it. Very nice. Very good. So we have loaded. What have we done? We have loaded the project. We created a project. We loaded. We created a data set or a database, and then we loaded a table here. Imported a table, and we made sure that the table was loaded correctly without any schematic errors. Right. All right. Rishi is facing some challenge. Let me just ask Rishi. Can you share your screen once? Quickly. Can you share the screen once, Rishi? So Rishi, I'm waiting. Yeah, all right, it's coming up. So we have to be a little patient when we work with such live data, guys, especially setting up the data So Rishi is not coming for some odd reason. Maybe after the session, I can provide you some help, Rishi. Your screen is not coming for some odd reason. Yeah, Rishi?
So shall I share my screen once?
Yeah, go ahead, please. Yeah. So now, okay, just click here because the screen size has come down, right? So just click over here, this small icon at the bottom, small icon at the bottom left hand side, small icon, this one. Yeah, yeah. This will hide that. Yeah, so you have a little bigger screen. Just, yeah, and then click over here, close this thing. Yeah, close this, file documentation.
So I'm clicking on it, but I don't.
No worries, no worries. Anyway, so now you can see this, right? Now, what we will do is that we'll start writing SQL commands on top of this database, right? This table that we have loaded. So you see query here, right over here, query. Yeah. So you can click on query and it says on a new tab. So click on new tab. Yeah. So now I'm going to share my screen, Priyanka. Thanks a lot. Yeah, Priyanka.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. That's a good tip, Rohit. All right, guys. So see, this is the table that I have uploaded. This is the table. When I click on this table, so my project name is this, my database name is this, and my table name is this, right? When I click on it, it opens the table like this. You can see it opens the table like this very nicely. It shows the schema. I can preview it also. You can see the preview of it, right? Now I want to start writing some SQL queries on it. So I click on query here, or I can click on the three dots here and I can go to query. So now let me just dismiss this billing thing because I'm okay with the free version as well. Now, when I click on the query here, what it does is that it asks me an option, whether you want to create the query in a new tab or where. So I have selected new tab, and then it shows me select something here from this project dot this data set dot this table. Just like in your computer, you have folder path. In databases as well, we have to know in which folder, which project folder it is, which database name are we working with, which database we are working with, and what is the table within that database, because the database can have several tables in it. So this is the path that it has given. Now here, if you notice, this path is inside something called as pair of ticks. Tick is a symbol which looks like a single quote, but it's not really a single quote. It's a symbol before number 1 in your keyboard. So whenever you give the folder path, you have to specify the folder path inside the project.dataset.table name. But don't worry too much about it because Google BigQuery also recommends this automatically. Okay, so I'll just increase the font size a little bit, decrease this side a little bit, so that we have a little more room to play to write the SQL query. Yeah. Now here, select, and I'm going to put from in the next line, from, and then I'm going to put limit in the next line. Okay. So what is happening here? So from this project, from this data set, from this table, I want to extract the first, let's say if I mention first 5 records, which is what limit will do, first 5 rows from this table. And from those 5 rows, I want to extract what all columns. So say, for example, I'm going to open this file in Excel also, just to see what are the columns which are there. So I'm going to open this comma separated CSV files in Excel is opening. These are the columns which are there. So let's say I want to find out companies from India. I want to find out the list of countries from India. So anyway, I will go to SQL, and here I will specify the column that I want to extract or I want to read from this. So if you notice here, if I write COMP and then it suggests the column name, you can click on it, company, and then let's say I write COU, country, it suggests the fields. I select it also. So these are the two fields that I'm selecting from here. And maybe I also want to see, maybe I'm intrigued to find out the total laid off, this column. So I'll write total laid off. It shows. I can press tab also. So these are the three columns that I'm selecting, that I'm interested in from the first 5 rows of this table. So and how do I run this statement? So I select it and I click on a run, or I can press Control Enter, and then at the bottom of the screen I can see the results coming in. So the results come over here, and you can see company, country, and total laid off. So since we selected only 3 columns, so it shows me 3 columns from how many different rows? Only 5 rows. You can see only 5 rows are shown. Why 5 rows? Because I have limited to 5. Now let's look at a few interesting things here, guys. If I remove the limit here, then what would happen is, if I run this statement now, select and run, always a good practice, select and run. When I run this statement now, it shows me a lot of records. In fact, what it does is that it shows me all the records. First, it is showing me 50 records in the first page, and you can see I can drag this up as well, and I can see all the 50 records. You can see, right, for these 3 columns, right? So from this project, from this data set, from this table, it has selected all the records for these 3 columns. Is that making sense, everybody? Yeah. So that is a very simple query. Now let's make this query a little bit interesting. Yes, Rishi, no worries. I will. Now let's say here I want to do something interesting. Now, if you notice here, the basic syntax of select query is what? So now when I write something inside /* and */ it is considered to be a comment. Comment basically means non-SQL statement, right? So we will talk about what this means as well. Okay, so here, any note that I want to write, any documentation I want to give, any instructions I want to write, I would put it under a pair of / and */ So here I would write that let's see the list of companies from India, list of companies from India, okay, with their laid off numbers as well, right? So here I have written this as a comment. Red thing is comment. It's not going to be executed as a select query. So select, basic syntax of select is select from. After that, you select the table, and then you will write where, which will help you filter the records. So here, after from, I would write the name of the table is layoff. So I have written LAY, and then it shows me all these things. I'm going to select this. So I don't have to give all these things by manually. It automatically selects this from this table, where the country column, see this country column's value is equals to, under pair of double quotes, because it's a text field. So the value is going to be text as well. I'll write India as, remember SQL in Google BigQuery is case sensitive, guys. Okay, so remember to be precisely case sensitive, and semicolon is like end of SQL statement. Just like an English statement has to end with a dot at period, an SQL statement has to end with a semicolon across the board, across all databases. And then here I am going to select specific things. Since it says select the list of companies, so I'm going to select company. I write COMP, and then it shows me this. Okay, I press tab and select it, and I write country also. Come down over here, tab. So these are the 2 columns that I've selected, and it shows me the results over here. The list of all the companies, which are approximately 107 here, and with the total laid off numbers as well. So I'll write a comma here, and I'll write total laid off and then I will run it. Remember the shortcut to run it after selecting the query all the way till semicolon is Control Enter, or you can click on run here. So it shows me total laid off number as well. Now, what I want to do is that I want to sort this data as well. I want to order the data by the total laid off column. I want to sort the data by the total laid off column. So what I'll do is here, I'll write order by, I'll order the data or sort the data by the last column, total laid off. So total laid off in descending order, DESC, shortcut, DESC. You will just write DESC or ASC for ascending, increasing order, DSC for decreasing order. And then I select it and press Control Enter or click on the run symbol to run it. And now it shows me some more interesting insights. So it is sorting the data. Thank you, Rishi. It is sorting the data in decreasing order. Now, look at, remember limit we had discussed. What does limit do? Limit limits the number of records from the top. Limit the number of records from the top. So that means if I write here limit 1, or let's say I write limit 3, what would happen, guys? Now in the result, if you see here, I've got multiple companies given here: Byju's, ByteDance, which is TikTok owner, White Hat Junior, another Byju's company, Paisabachar, Ola, and so many others. And these are the laid off figures. So if I write here, if I write limit 3, then only these 3 records, will show. From the top, it will show only the 3 records. So here, if I run this statement now, you will see only those 3 records from the top. Does it make sense, guys? Very, very interesting here. Very, very interesting, isn't it? Now, let's make the discussion even more interesting. Let's do some more interesting questions and look at the power of Google BigQuery, SQL writing. Let's say I want to find out the total number of laid off, total number of people who were laid off in the United States, okay, in the US, total number. So what I'll write is select from, again, layoff. This is the table, press tab, where country, CON, come over here, country is equals to under pair of double quotes, USA, right? And semicolon. And here, I want to see total layoff, total. So I am going to use a function which is very similar to the function in Excel, which is called a sum function. And then here inside the sum function, I am going to write sum of what, guys? Sum of which column?
Laid off. Total laid off.
Total laid off. So I'm going to write total laid off, right? And then I select it and I run it, and then it shows me okay. Let's look at the data a little bit. The country is given as United States. Okay, perfect. So see, this is where we went wrong, and there's the reason why it is showing null value here, United States. So now if you notice, 186,789 people were laid off only in the US. Now here, if you notice, the column name is coming weird, right? F0 underscore or something like that, because this is a derived column. We derived it, we calculated it. So I can write as, and then I can mention a dummy column name, which will show up over here as a label to this. So total, let's say I write total layoffs here. And now see, look at the column name comes a little more interesting manner, right? So this shows you total number of people who were laid off in the US. Now I may be interested to find the total number of layoffs country-wise, right? I'm interested to find total number of layoffs country-wise. So ideal output that I want to see is I want to see the ideal output. It's very important to understand the ideal output columns before you write the queries, before you write the SQL command. So here I want to see country as one column, and then I want to see total layoffs, right? So I want these two columns. Now I'll select from layoff, selected. And then this time, because I want to summarize the data, aggregate the data at a country level, at the country level. So there is a very interesting command available in SQL called as group by. So group the data by which column? Group the data by country column, semicolon, and then I go to select again, and country, comma, I will use which function which will give me the total sum of the layoffs, guys. We just used it. What function should we use? So we'll use sum again and total tab as total layoffs. So as creates an alias name or a nickname or a dummy name to the column header that comes, especially for the calculated columns. It is an interesting thing to have. So it shows country-wise total layoffs. Country-wise. So there are approximately 42 countries which made the layoffs. Now, let's make this question even more interesting. Let's say I add here one more statement which says only show those countries, or maybe I add this question, show the top 3 countries in terms of layoffs. Not a great thing, especially for people getting laid off, but we want to understand which are those countries which are laying off most. So here, what should we do? After group by, what we will do?
So order by.
We will do order by, and which column, Priyanka?
Total layoff.
So we will write sum of total layoff in which order?
DSC.
DSC, right? Now I select this and I control enter, run it, and then it'll show me the countries with the highest layoffs, highest number of layoffs first. Interesting, India is there. But again, the question has said we only want to see the top 3. So how do we see only the top 3 records, guys? We have seen limit 3. So we will say limit 3. And then it'll show me the top 3 records. That means the top 3 countries. Unfortunately, India is the second. Yeah, look at the number of layoffs the US has done and compare with the number of people who work in India versus in the US. So it's big layoff that's went on here. Now, interestingly, suppose if I add one more thing here, guys. Suppose I say that show the layoffs in the I don't know, maybe in couple of industries, maybe in the finance industry and in the education industry. Yeah, consider only finance and education startups. Don't consider any other startups, only consider these startups. So what should we do in this query, guys? What should we do? Remember, select from where. So where helps us to filter the record. So I'll write where country, sorry, not country, industry is equals to education, or industry is equals to finance. Yeah, and then if you run the, so now you can see country-wise layoffs. Your question may be a little different as well. Here we have done country-wise total layoffs. I want to see industry-wise. Yeah, so I can, I can have a question like this: show the report which, or show the total layoffs industry-wise. Show the total layoff industry-wise. Only show those industries with at least 10,000 layoffs. Only show those industries with at least 10,000 layoffs. So first we will do the first part. So the first part is fairly simple. From layoff table, group the data by industry, and then industry comma sum of total laid off, and then it shows me the total number of layoffs industry wise. But now it says that the sum of total laid off should be at least 10,000. Sorry, 10,000, not 1,000, at least 10,000. So here, normally we filter the records using where, but here we want to use, or we want to apply a filter after grouping the data. So there is a very special condition statement available to us in SQL called as having. Having is used when typically you want to apply a condition after grouping the data using one of the group functions like sum, count, avg, max, min should be greater than 10,000, greater than equals to 10,000. And then when you run it, it'll show you the data of those industries which have had at least 10,000 layoffs. So these are the industries which have had at least 10,000 layoffs. Now here, if you want to further do this, you can order the data by sum of total laid off in descending order, right? And then you can further limit to 2 to see the first 2 industries. Is that making sense, everybody? Is that making sense, everybody? All right, now we will do one more query and then probably we will call it a day because we won't have time. But we have, we also have a column here called as date. A lot of times you will have data which will have time series data or date specific data. So let's say I want to find out which are those months when we get the maximum layoffs, which are the months when there are maximum layoffs happening. Yeah, show the months, show the top, sorry about that. Show the top 3 months with maximum layoffs. Yeah. So here again, the ideal output is that we want a month and then we want the total number of layoffs. So I'll write from layoff the table, group the data. Now before this, I will show you one more important thing and then we'll come over here. How do we see the month? Because we have date column. You can see date is a column, but we do not have month as a column, but date and month information is given in the date. So there is a very interesting function available in SQL called as extract. So here which says we will do what? We will extract month from date. We will extract month from date, and that, let's say we give it a dummy name as mth, month. And then when I run this statement, it shows me the date, and it also shows me the corresponding month in integer between 1 and 12. Between 1 and 12. So now if I want to group the data by the month, so what I will have to do is that I have to take this entire Control C, copy it, come over here, group the data by that particular function, and then I can do sum of total. Sometimes it shows, sometimes it does not. Is that making sense, everybody? So we'll group the data by month, and then we'll show you the total number of laid offs in each month. And then it says top 3. So again, the same thing, order the data by sum of total laid off in descending order, and then limit it to 3. Is that making sense, everybody? Yeah, sometimes it becomes moody. It's showing error for whatever reason. Group the data, it's working fine. It's just that when we order the data, let me order the data by 2 in descending. 2 meaning second column after the select statement. You know, sometimes SQL, especially Google BigQuery. So don't worry about it. I mean, it will work in other platforms without any issue. It's here. I've seen it kind of create some challenge. So anyway, guys, what are the things that we learned today? So I'm going to upload list of few questions that I want you to do. Okay. And I'm going to give you these scripts. I'm going to give you a few more scripts. I have created some 4 questions. I thought we would have some time in the class and we would do it, but unfortunately we won't have time. But I'm going to give you some these 4 questions, and I'm also going to give you some more questions. I've got created a list of around 6 more questions. I'll give you around 10 questions or so altogether. What I want you to do is I want you to definitely give them a try. Okay. I know that maybe, you know, you might have missed out on a couple of steps here and there. The recording is available on Ivy's YouTube channel. I'll give you the link of the YouTube channel if you're not there. youtube.com/IvyProSchool. Very simple. Go there, and then you'll be able to see the recording of the session. The dataset link is also given there, and I'm going to upload these scripts. Not maybe, you know, maybe in an hour's time in the Ivy's YouTube channel as well. Do give these questions a try. Okay. Definitely, I tell you, if you're able to do these 4 questions, you can claim, you can write it on your resume that you know SQL foundation, essentials, basic. But yes, you can claim that you know SQL. Okay. There are some more interesting concepts that we have not had the time to cover today in SQL. If you go to Ivy's YouTube channel, you'll find you know, some of my videos I've given on SQL in the past sessions using different data sets. Could be a good practice as well. There I've spoken about joins. I've spoken about a few more concepts like that. Do watch such videos as well, and you know, your learning will be more concrete then, guys. You know, of course, at Ivy we do SQL is part of our data engineering course track, and SQL is also part of our data analytics and data science track. I am the faculty, one of the lead faculty members in Ivy for SQL classes and a few other course modules. So if you're part of the Ivy courses, I'll be happy to see you there. And in the meantime, when you try these questions, if you get some problem, I've given you my LinkedIn profile. Do ping me on LinkedIn, guys, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions on LinkedIn. Okay. Again, as I said in the beginning of the class, guys, feel free to get connected with me. If you just Google Pratik Ivy, you will find me on LinkedIn. The first link that you will find would be my link, and I'll be more than happy to be connected with you all. Thanks a lot for attending today's session, guys. There is a feedback link given in the chat window. It'll be great if you can provide your true feedback there. And if you really liked the session, I'll be happy if you can leave a Google review link. I mean, if you can leave a review on Google as well, and that would really help me spread my name. Thank you, guys. See you, everybody. Have a good one.